not have handcuff Kingdom Holding. It does not handcuff our operations, does not handcuff my private office affairs, and does not handcuff my Rotana operation and my Al Walid philanthropies operation completely. So we have 4 entities that are separate and independent: Kingdom Holding, Al Walid Philanthropies, my private office, and Rotana.
This understanding, arrangement that you have with the government, was your exit from the Ritz-Carlton contingent on your agreeing to the...
Not necessarily. That's your interpretation of it. No, not necessarily. Look, there was a dialogue between me and the government. There's a discussion between me and the higher authorities without naming names. But this is the culmination of all this discussion that we had. And it took, around 83 days to really keep discussing. And, and I was not pushing, frankly speaking. I was not pushing to leave. I was not pushing to just exit the whole thing fast. I told them that, I'm in Saudi Arabia. I'm in my territory. I'm not being detained in downtown Tehran or downtown Sana'a. I'm in my territory. So I'm happy. I'm not, I would rather be outside. I'm not going to come and tell you I would rather be inside, for sure. That will not be, that'd be fake news if I say that to you. So I wanted to be out, but yet I say I'm not in a rush. I'm not going to be out sooner or later. So whether it's 83 days or 100 days or 120 days, I'll be out eventually, because my relationship with the government of Saudi Arabia and the king, who's my uncle, and Prince Salman, Mohammed Salman, who's my cousin, is ideal and perfect during and after the process.
So this is not a settlement, it's an agreement. Is it a signed document as well?
Yes, we signed something, but it is, yes, it was signed, but it is really based on mutual understanding between us.
Why were you in the Ritz-Carlton for so long?
Well, you have to ask the government, not me, frankly speaking. I don't believe I belong there at all. So, I am always, almost always in agreement with my government, but not necessarily all the time. For example, I give advice to the government in certain incidents and certain cases, and sometimes they listen to me, and sometimes they don't. It's like they give me advice on certain things, and I listen sometimes I don't. So there's an interaction between me and the government continuously. Now, on that particular subject, I don't believe I should have been there. Yet I'm there. I respect the government. I accept what they said, and I'm under the support of Saudi Arabia, under the king and crown prince.
What did the government want from you? Did they ever make that clear?
Well, I will not dwell into the discussion that took place between me and the government of Saudi Arabia and through the representatives.
They must have wanted something, though.
No, I read what was written. That they want a chunk of A or B or C of what I have. And this it was all rumors.
According to one report, it was $6 billion.
Oh yes, I read $6 billion. I read more than that, less than that. I understand. Though, frankly speaking, all these are rumors, but I will not dwell into the arrangement between me and the government.
Did it cost you anything to leave?
I will not comment on the content of the agreement between me and the government.
No, but what I'm asking is, did you have to pay the government any money? Did you have to hand over any land? Did you have to surrender any shares?
When I say it's a confidential and secret agreement, an arrangement that is based on confirmed understanding between me and the government of Saudi Arabia, I have to respect that. And look, I'm a Saudi citizen, right? But I'm a royal family. The king is my uncle. Mohammed Salman is my cousin. And this is the rule of Saudi Arabia. King Abdulaziz, established Saudi Arabia, correct? So my interest is really to maintain this kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and obviously my kingdom also, and to maintain the relationship between me and them, and have it, unscratched completely.
You understand, of course, why I'm asking this question.
Sure.
There are people, fellow detainees, who signed settlements and paid large fines. I want to know whether you're in the same boat or whether you're in a different camp.
Oh, look, that's why I didn't want to be in that case, because some of those people were there. I'm not going to name names, but I know them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe quite a bit of them. That they really did commit crimes of theft. And they were involved in bribes, and they were involved in stealing funds on the government. We all know them very well. I know them. And I'm for having these people there. And I am for the anti-corruption that took place in Saudi Arabia. Now, unfortunately, I was added to that group. But fortunately, I'm out of it right now, and life is back to normal. So I'm not the person who's going to come and say, I forgive. I forgive, but I don't forget. I say I forgive and I forget at the same time also.
I also want to know if you retain control of your companies, whether you're still a 95% shareholder in Kingdom Holding, whether you still own Rotana, your media company, whether you're still in full control of your personal investment portfolio.
Let me assure you. Look, I'm at Kingdom Holding. I'm the chairman. Obviously, you know, I did give the power to our new CEO, Talal Miman, more than a year ago. And also, I empowered the Al Walid Philanthropies
If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Many people have passed this information along to me. They wanted me to check out this trailer for the new YouTube Red show called The Thinning. And I have to say, it is quite not only disturbing, but it is quite obvious what they're trying to say and what they're trying to show here, which is more predictive programming from the New World Order. As all of these shows continue to come out, pushing agenda after agenda, indoctrinating people with what is to come. That is how they work and how they operate. The plot for this show, The Thinning, get this. It's so right in your face, it's unbelievable. Set in a future where population control is dictated by a high school aptitude test, 2 students must take down the system before it takes them first. Now, you might be saying, well, what does that mean? Well, let me dissect the trailer and the plot for you. You can see here a fence with cameras surrounding it, barbed wire. Looks like a prison, almost like a FEMA camp. And the premise is that these students have to be the smartest possible students they can be. Otherwise, they're going to be wiped out and killed. Because the population, according to the trailer, is just too big. There's not enough resources. So the film is pushing population control. It's also pushing other agendas, but let's start with that. Pushing population control, which is one of the biggest agendas, if not the biggest agenda that they always try to push. We hear Bill Gates, we hear all of these elitists talking about what a problem it is in our world with so many people. What they do is they trick people into thinking that we live in an overpopulated society based on cramming everybody into cities. All you got to do is drive cross country. Okay, it doesn't matter what route you take, central, northern, southern. You will see endless miles of open area. Unfortunately, the majority of it is owned by our government. So they pretend that, oh, there's no land. We're running out of land. There's too many people being born. Because they want to wipe us out. And they're going to. Part of Agenda 2030 is the depopulation agenda. So that is what this show is conditioning people for. A society where they will brainwash people into thinking that we've run out of resources, that we're going to have to start killing people because population is such a big problem. The global warming agenda will play into this as well. So in the trailer, you can see everybody crammed together, all the houses that have, 5 feet between them. This is all part of their plan. That is why nobody has acres. Nobody has massive yards anymore. People's houses are pretty much touching one another this day and age. They are cramming everyone together. Thus, you see on television all these shows about tiny homes, people living in houses that are 400 square feet. They are pushing this agenda. The trailer says the only option is to decrease the population size. So we see kids learning in school. And what it tells you is that these children are raised inside of their system, the government system, which is obviously what happens now. And just like in today's society, you are rewarded for how good you are inside of this fake system, the education system. So the more fake knowledge you know about the world, the more fake history, the more useless things that they teach you that you know about, and the higher grades you get, the more rewarded you are inside of their system. That's how it works. You'll get a higher paying job. It is all part of an indoctrination. That's why it is so hard to bring people out of the mind control because they went to school. They had this beaten into their head over and over. They're proud of their grades. They're proud of where they went to college. They don't want to hear that it was a waste of their lives. So many years of their lives wasted learning and being programmed by nothing but lies. So these children are rewarded for being, good citizens inside of the system by being allowed to stay alive. So the cast or the plot here revolves around these people who have to take an aptitude test. If they pass the test and they're the highest, they get the highest grades out of everybody, they live. If they don't, they're removed and they're executed. That is the plot. That is how ridiculous they are getting with their agendas. People will see this and they'll go, oh, it's an interesting concept. We do have a lot of population issues. I heard Bill Gates talking about it. No, we don't. Okay, this is part of their agenda. Now, they're also pushing for a super intelligent race, which is, part of a superhuman race. Be all you can be as smart as possible. They want you to be as smart as possible when it comes to believing in their lies. Now, what's more interesting is we see the president here of the United States. It's his system, and he brags about how America is the smartest country in the world based on this system he's implemented with population control. And they said, if you don't support our society, then you are a parasite. I repeat, if you do not support our society, you are a parasite. And that's exactly what we see going on now. For anyone that speaks against the news and the lies of this world, we're considered parasites because we're attacking the system that our brothers and sisters out there who are completely lost and under mind control, the system that they love, the system that they're a part of. They don't want to be taken away from the system. They like it. They love being slaves without realizing they're slaves to a system, working 50 hours a week, never spending time with their family, never taking time to themselves to enjoy the beauty of the world that God created, the actual world, the beauty of nature, not the beauty of an office cubicle. So they talk about people like myself, people like you who listen to the show, how we're parasites. Anybody who is against their system is a parasite and needs to be eliminated in due time, which we don't know when the end times are going to be, but we know we're heading towards them at a rapid pace right now. But they're going to convince people that people like me and you need to be executed, specifically Christians. As we see, they continue to talk about how we're parasites, how we're bigots, how we're hateful, right? All these TV shows mocking Jesus Christ, mocking us. And the only way that they shine light on us is in a bad way, is to say that we're hateful people. We're not going along with the gay agenda and the transgender agenda. So this is what they're brainwashing people into believing and into accepting at some point in time. A single standardized test that determines who survives. That is the plot. You see the kids in the classroom like sheep on their devices, learning how they're taught by the teachers. You have to be the best you can possibly be. Students who fail the test will be eliminated. Then we have, guys who look like FBI, CIA, secret intelligence guys coming in and carrying kids out of the classroom when they fail the test and being murdered. So some of the students say, well, we got to fight back against this system. Now, people out there who are asleep will say, well, wait, it's speaking against it because the kids are trying to take down the system. It is just conditioning 101. Just like Terminator. With transhumanism, all of this stuff. It's just conditioning, right? The Alien movies is conditioning. Demon movies, conditioning. Doesn't matter who wins, who loses in the movies. It is to get you to say, oh, like the movie, to be desensitized from what they're trying to do and to be okay with going along with it because you've already seen it. You've already, oh yeah, like that movie. Oh, it's no big deal. In reality, this is the plan. This is why we have FEMA camps. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to have people take a standardized test. But what they're hinting at is how, you need to go along with this system. You need to be as good as you can be inside of the matrix. Get the best grades you can get, regurgitate the same crap that they teach you year after year, and go spread those lies to your children and to people close to you. And that's what people do. That's why it's so hard for people like us to function in this world, because you can't go out and have a normal conversation with anyone because they're completely programmed. You start talking to them and they talk about politics like it's real. They talk about the things that are going on, the current events, as if they're real. They don't believe in secret societies. They don't believe in Satanism. They don't believe the Freemasons are bad or any of this stuff, because they are so programmed, and they want the entire world to be completely programmed. And people who are non-compliant with this will be eliminated. You can see the surveillance in the trailer as well. Cameras all over the place. Not a surprise there. They're already inside of our homes. But you could see the monitoring. They're monitoring their behavior. They're monitoring what they're doing around the clock, because they're trying to create a race of servants for them who are completely indoctrinated with the lies of this world, but who they will look down on and say, okay, but they deserve to live over the others because at least they believe in our system and they're following forth with our system, so they can be the goyim in our system, and we can spit on them and we can ridicule them and we can mock them all we want to, because we control the system and we control their lives and the outcome of their lives. So this is called The Thinning. When I heard it, I thought it was about Thinner or something, the movie Thinner, about a fat guy losing weight. I think it was a Stephen King book. But now, obviously, after watching the trailer, it makes more sense, right? Thinning out the population, folks. Agenda 2030. And that's why you see these people like Bill Gates out there, Ted Turner, pushing population control and how it's such a problem. The late, not great David Rockefeller, always pushing population control, fear of running out of resources. They control the resources. They have the resources. They stole the resources of the earth. And they're going to lie to people to think that we need to depopulate to continue going on as a nation. That's how sick and how sad this world continues to get. So YouTube Red, just like Netflix, okay, these are new avenues, new channels for new programming. They know people are starting to turn away from television, but they know people are on their devices. So many people listen to this channel, message me and say, well, I got rid of TV years ago. It's the best thing I ever did. But you have the internet and you have Netflix, okay? And maybe you don't have Netflix, but you have YouTube. They are going to attack on every platform that they can, okay? They want you on your phone, watching this garbage wherever you are. That's why they have phones with, you can watch TV on your phone. You can watch TV here. You could be on your device there. It doesn't matter. And people do it because they want to keep you under constant mind control. So YouTube Red, going along with Netflix now, putting out quote unquote original content. This has got to be one of the worst plots and trailers I've ever seen. It looks, it really is hilarious. It looks so ridiculous that people would actually watch this stuff and be entertained by it. But it is here to indoctrinate people, and people will go along with it because they won't realize that they're under mind control. And they'll say, you know what? We should kill off the stupid people who fail the test because they're stupid. We need a world of smarter people. This is the crap that they feed people, and they buy it. The people who are under the mind control are the dumbest of them all because in their minds, they think they are so smart and have everything figured out. They don't realize that all they are to them is a mouse in a wheel, going nowhere, spinning continuously. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.
Moi! Tiesitkö, että DNA-netillä näet Netflixin leffat ja sarjat 4K-kuvan laadulla ja pätkimättä? DNA-netti on näet nopein netti Netflixin katsomiseen. Enemmän viihtymistä meiltä DNAlta.
Dear Diary, yesterday's lunchtime poll asked, who are you? When it finally came my turn, Heather C. turned to me and said,
well, suck my third nipple. If it isn't Veronica Sawyer, how Banana Republic?
It's ironic, Heather.
We're not doing irony anymore. Keep up.
Yeah, keep up.
Shut up, Heather.
Yeah, shut up, Heather.
Heather, only I tell Heather shut up.
Oh, yeah.
In the spot, I came to have fun. Dressed to the nines, so they know I'm number one.
Fat kids can be popular.
The preferred term is body positive.
What about the Asian kids?
And the genderqueer?
Bang!
Obviously, the gays and Jews are over.
She looks like if Jim Henson got in one last puppet before he died.
Gosh, Heather, super mean way to treat the mentally challenged.
Jesus. Who is this?
I'm JD.
I like your whole rebel thing.
Let's snort Adderall. make out, and kill Heather.
What?
You can't go one night without your domestic terrorist boyfriend. He is a loser.
You're jealous, fatty.
You're about to get flamed.
So why do you hang out with her?
Just let her have her moment in the sun.
Her moment in the sun is giving everyone skin cancer.
You were nothing before you met me.
I wish Heather Chandler would just die so that I can finally be free. Whatever you do, make sure it matters.
Ooh la la.
Don't think of it like you're hurting Heather. Think of it like you're helping everyone else.
Oh my.
Oh my God. We're gonna be late for school.
Heather Chandler killed herself this morning.
She certainly didn't look suicidal.
Her skin was flawless.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I've been doing research for a little over a month now, trying to find information on what's inside the Masonic Bible. Obviously, when you cover this stuff, you can read books. There's a lot of resources that you can use. That's what I use when I make these videos that I do. But when it comes to the Masonic Bible, I'm not going to purchase the Masonic Bible to give information on it because I don't want to purchase one. I don't want one in my home for obvious reasons. I suppose if I wanted to find someone with the Masonic Bible in their home, I could probably drive to Boston and borrow his, but he's probably busy watching Harry and the Hendersons, waiting for his mom to cook him dinner. But I digress. But the importance of knowing what's inside the Masonic Bible, as far as knowing our enemy, because remember, there's two things that you need to know. And the most important thing is that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. The only way to our Father is through Jesus Christ. Salvation could only be obtained through Jesus Christ. Nothing in this world is more important than knowing that. If you're somebody like me, you like to know your enemies. You like to know what they're doing. That's just how I am. You don't find salvation through knowing this stuff, so you don't have to know this stuff, but it does help open other people's eyes to the truth. Okay, and inside these Masonic Bibles, what you'll find is nothing but Egyptian Luciferian worship. That's what's inside their Masonic Bible. And in the video clips that I'm going to show you, I'm going to use some clips. I saw this clip on my buddy Slinging Stone's channel. He used this clip. It was probably the best clip out there of somebody just going through the Masonic Bible, just, out in the open, showing people the Ra worship, Amun-Ra, showing people how, the New Testament or the Bible, I believe the New Testament starts on page 33, or maybe the Bible itself starts on page 33. Just all of this mocking and the mentioning and discussing of the destruction of Christianity is the goal of the Freemason. These people are not Christian. They are not followers of Christ. They are.
Sijoitukseni tuntuvat välillä epämääräisiltä, enkä ole varma mistä maksan.
Älä huoli. Sijoituspalveluhan on täysin läpinäkyvää.
Danske Bankilla tiedät tarkalleen, mitä sijoituspalvelusta maksat.
Are the enemy. They are followers of Lucifer. And their army is growing. They might pretend like, oh, Masonry's dying off. They are growing. People are joining these secret societies. And as it gets revealed, as you'll see in these video clips, they find out that they're actually worshiping Lucifer, that the light that the book is speaking of is the light of Lucifer. So I want people to know this and see this because this is in your town. These people are in your town. Lucifer worshipers, Luciferians in your town, up your road. Stuff you probably would never have imagined, right? Oh, there's not really people that do this stuff. Yeah, there are. These people are liars and they're deceivers, and God warns us about these people, but we need to shine light on them and expose them. The goal being to run them out of our towns. But unfortunately, I don't think that's possible at this point. But raising awareness is possible. And if this helps people see, well, why are they going after Christianity so much? Why are they going after Jesus Christ so much? Because Jesus Christ is the truth, and they want to destroy the truth. So for those of you who aren't saved, be saved. Pick up a Bible. Find salvation through Jesus Christ. That is the only answer. that you need to know in this world. But if you want to know what your enemy's studying and what your enemy's spreading in our towns, because there's a Mason Lodge in every town, here's just a little bit, some clips of what's inside of their Masonic Bible. Take a look for yourself.
Yeah, Mason Bible. Totally demonic. Well, for Masonic use. So they've got alternate definitions of words. But what really shocked me the first time I picked this up, sun god, Ra, Amen, the Father of God, the Creator, published in the Freemason Bible, which is, near as I can tell, it's a King James version. People like Jordan Maxwell and the woman who made Ring of Power, they try and mix up language and they say, oh, well, when you say Amen at the end of a prayer, you're really, this is who you're saying your prayer to, Amen Ra. Well, that's a lie. No, Amen is Hebrew for so be it, or it is so.
So be it, or something like that.
I think it's so be it. It's Hebrew. Talk to anyone who's Hebrew and say, what does Amen mean? And they'll say, well, it is so. And that's the truth. That's why we say Amen at the end of a prayer, because it's Hebrew for so be it. Or I think it's so be it. But these liars are trying to convince everyone that you're praying to Amen Ra, the sun god. That's the mystery religions. They mix in all these lies and pagan sun worshipping, trying to corrupt and pervert everything.
So the Christian halo comes from these.
Yeah, I know, yeah. The halo never appeared.
Never in the Bible says anything about anything like that.
Until the 4th century, yeah. And so we've got all this Babylonian crap mixed in here. And these are, there's an obelisk. Well, that was Osiris's penis. That's
worship for fertility.
Phallic worship, yeah. Yeah, and the Washington Monument, it's an Egyptian obelisk. There's one at the middle of St. Peter's Square in the Vatican. There's another one in the middle of the city of London. These Egyptian obelisks, what are they doing all over the planet?
The Oval Office is actually a female genitalia. Yeah. And the steeple is actually penetrating it. If you look at it from a certain angle, it's a steeple penetrating the Oval Office, which is a female.
You just need to watch Christian J. Pinto's are about the history and blah, blah, blah. But then you flip to the back, and there's all this Egyptian, Babylonian account of the building of the walls and temples of Babylon.
I think it's interesting that Saddam Hussein actually believed that he was Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah. He thought he was a reincarnation of Nebuchadnezzar. There's even a statue in Iraq that says that. See how he's bigger than all the others? It's because he's the god, and they're the people who are worshiping the giant Nephilim gods from back in the day.
These are given to initiated when they're reborn. Okay. Now this belonged to Brother Edward Black. Was initiated November 10th, 36. He passed and then was raised. And when you're raised, you're reborn. That was 1936. This guy was initiated. And then these are all the lodge numbers of visiting brethren and friends. Lodge number 231, 669, and the names. The names of the lodges and the numbers of the lodges. And this is the guy who raised them, fellow candidates. I guess that's witnesses, I don't know. But these are supposed to be returned upon death. And I guess what happened was that this guy passed away, and whoever was handling his estate just dropped off a bunch of books that they used.
Ladies, I would like y'all to meet Franklin Saint, a.k.a. our savior, a.k.a. the big black apostle. What's going on, baby? Come on.
Franklin's fine, all right?
Bookstore, not realizing that this was contained within and the significance of it. So I'm not supposed to have this, but the person at the used bookstore knew it would be appreciated and set it aside. And it's got the compass and square right on the front. It's blue. It's got a blue cover and it's got the compass and square right on the front. It says Masonic Bible. That's what it says. This is copyrighted 1928. And it opens up with the Holy Bible and Freemasonry and explains, they try and justify or convince the unsuspecting Mason that, see, I think the first degree, when you're doing the ceremony, you're asked, what do you seek? Light. And then the second degree, it's what do you seek? More light. And then the third degree, what do you seek? Further light. And they rise up through the degrees. Now, Stab Monteith does a great presentation called The Hidden Secret. And the hidden secret, which is revealed at the 33rd degree, is that the light you've been seeking all of this time is the light of the light bearer, Lucifer. The Ralph Epperson presentation, the second witness to the apocalypse, goes into all this in great detail with the quotes directly from Manly P. Hall and Albert Pike. It explains how all Masons swear an oath to destroy Christianity at all costs, regardless of whether you have to murder, lie, steal, doesn't matter. Everything is justified. Here we get into page 7, and they're explaining how the Bible became a great light. See, they use this term, light, light, great light, all the way through, and the hidden secret, which is not revealed until the 33rd degree, is what the light really is. Yeah. So we get into the story of the English Bible, and there's all this stuff prefacing the actual beginning of the Bible. King Solomon's temple. It's all very startling. I'm trying to be careful because it's a Masonic Bible. Okay, the construction of the temple, they're getting into Solomon's temple. Masonic ritual. Okay, we're on page 31. And then we get page 33. The Holy Bible starts on page 33. Could that be a coincidence? What's the significance of 33? The Holy Bible starts on the 33rd page of the Masonic Bible.
Today we're going to take a look at the Oxford Masonic Bible. So first, a little background how I came into possession of this Bible. I actually wanted to take a look at this Masonic Bible for a few years, and I can't say I pursued it, but it came that I was talking with an older guy that I know, and somehow we were talking about clubs and things you joined, and he said that he was a Mason. And I asked him, well, do you still have your Masonic Bible? And he says, yeah, I still have it. And I said, well, would you let me, borrow it? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I said, well, next time I see you, bring it. And, I'd like to borrow it for like a weekend, that type of thing. And he agreed. And he left and actually came right back with the Bible and said, like take as long as you want with the thing, and, just be careful with it or whatever. And I was, super grateful just to be able to get a look at this. It's a, no pun intended, holy grail, and something I didn't think I'd ever actually see in person. So it's really cool. Comes in a really nice case. So the Bible itself is well preserved. So any actual abuse would have been taken by this. And this is the Oxford edition. They do talk about different stylings, the contents, the Grand Lodges. This is, I guess, from New York. And we'll take a look at the Bible itself. I have the King James Bible, so there are some notable differences between this and that, and we'll get to that. There's the Freemason insignia on the front. And I tell you that this one offers Masonic helps. And again, it's the Oxford edition. The opening basically features where it was presented, on the date. So this would have been, actually just about a year ago. This was May 27, 1970. This would be who was received by, who met there, who was raised by, visiting brethren and friends, got to sign it. The next portion goes into discussing what the Bible is. I read a little bit of it. They kind of tell you that you should take this with a grain of salt, as this is their interpretation of the Bible. I'll have to see if I can find that exact page. But this goes on to talk about the great light in Masonry. How the Bible became a great light. Masonic teachings. And again, the Bible's actually in very good shape. Legend of the Craft, Legend of the Temple. They constructed the temple. Let's see. That's not what I was looking for. It's like I said, somewhere in here they talk about how this is their version of it, and how I forget the word they used, but how like new members should view this as their new version of the Bible. Genesis starts out the same. They talk about God creating the firmament, separating the waters, talking about how above the firmament was heaven, and below it is what became the earth. Then that was different from my Bible to this is that when you get to Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, oh, there's a little bookmarker. They call them saints. Saint Matthew, Saint Mark, Saint Luke, Saint John. No big deal, but just a little noticeable difference. Then when we get to the back of it, they get into their dictionary. So if you need to look up a word, you don't understand something, they remind you this is for Masonic use. So this is your dictionary if you don't understand something. Then they have different charts. Talk about Christ, the harmony of life. In the very back, they have, which I thought was interesting, and this is something I really wanted to see in person, but they do feature Egyptian gods and goddesses, which is kind of interesting because, you know, being Catholic, a Roman Catholic in my case, we're not taught that these gods exist, but they, you know, they clearly have them shown here. So again, I didn't go and read the Bible. I only have this for a short few days. I may look into it a little more, but I thought this was interesting. The soul revisiting the body. But there's a ton of Egyptian references in here that I don't think would normally be in other versions of the Bible. Strangers coming into Egypt. Egyptian brickmakers. So I'm definitely grateful to have had the opportunity to check this out and to be able to share it with anyone that watches the video. Different plates. I don't know exactly what these are supposed to be. Narandurus, the king of Babylon. I don't know, some kind of plate. These are definitely very odd things you wouldn't see in an average Bible. Different coins. Then we get into maps. This is Jerusalem in Old Testament times. Exodus. What's this one? Israel. The United Monarchy. Palestine. So yeah, that is a really quick look at the Masonic Bible. Talks about Freemasonry and their ties to religion. Now, there's been some rumors, I haven't seen anything here to indicate this, but how when you finally find out, what the Great Light is, it's supposed to be that you're worshiping Satan the entire time. The gentleman that gave me this only became a level 3 Mason, so he would not have known anything about that. Supposedly that's level 30 that you find out what the Great Light is. Anyway, like I said, I was glad to get a hold of this, and I was glad to be able to share it. So I hope that gave a little more insight. Again, this is a really great example of the Masonic Bible. Terrific shape with the original case. I haven't seen that before. The cover itself is in pristine condition.
Tutustu uuteen autoosi. Se on sellainen kuin haluat.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. Banks, retail, food, railroad, industries that some might not be as prominent as they were then, such as railroads. But in the 1800s, pretty much every single industry you can think of, all can be connected to this specific secret society, Skull and Bones, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, because George Bush and his father are both members of this exclusive secret society held on Yale campus, as well as John Kerry and many others. Now, it's important to realize that these Ivy League schools are recruiting grounds, because there are people who are members of these secret societies that aren't bloodline members. We know, of course, that if you're born into the Rockefeller bloodline or the Rothschild bloodline or the Bush bloodline or the Clinton bloodline, and you're members of these families, obviously you're going to be part of some type of secret society. But there's many secret societies inside of the pyramid, right? That's a big misconception people have. They don't realize that there's lots of different groups who still battle for power. Skull and Bones is one of these powerful groups, but it's a small group inside of a huge pyramid. Each year, they only bring in 15 new members, no more, no less. And they decide which members they're going to pick during their junior year. So it's a 1-year on-campus secret society, which really takes off after these people graduate, because they do meet in secret. They still meet at Yale. It's been noted that they meet on Deer Island in the St. Lawrence River annually to discuss things. But they only spend 1 year on campus in this exclusive club. Now, they're chosen based on a variety of things. If there's somebody who's not a part of a bloodline and not a family member of another bonesman, they look specifically for not just people who are masters of academics, because remember, these are Ivy League schools, and it's not like there's, Yale's the only one. Harvard has their secret society. Stanford has really, really secret societies where even the names of some of these clubs don't come out and people don't know about them. But these are people who succeeded above and beyond inside of their system. And those are the kind of people that they want to groom, because they're people who follow the system, who succeed in the system, and then they want them to grow after they mold them more and manipulate them more into the matrix and flourish inside of the system. They also specifically look for athletes or people who are team players. They don't like people who are loners, lone wolves, as you'd say. So obviously somebody like myself would not fit in very well. I guess I wouldn't have been recruited if I was on Yale campus, but the feeling's mutual. I'd rather pour cement in my eyes than be a part of one of these fraternal secret societies. So that's not the only secret society that's on Yale's campus. They also have Scroll and Key is another secret society, as well as Wolfhead. Some of you might have seen some of the footage, which obviously we don't know if it's legit or not, because it did air on ABC, where they supposedly people snuck inside of a ceremony at Skull and Bones and filmed it, a fake mock murder ritual.
He's come pretty close. She was part of a team that successfully recorded part of the initiation ceremony that takes place in the tomb's courtyard.
Okay, you have the doorway here.
Yeah.
Okay, then to the right you have a hedge, and then you have an evergreen tree. If you follow that line straight back, courtyard's in there.
Okay. So that's where they have the ceremonies in
the outdoor part of it. Part of it was indoors, so we only got to see the outdoor part.
Right.
We only got and to listen to the outdoor part. God only knows what went on indoors.
And what did you hear? What was it you know? You managed to get this unique
it was disgusting. It was gross. I mean, they were pretending to murder people.
What was the tone of it, though? Was it jokey? Or was it
No, it wasn't jokey at all. It was sick. It's not the only way I can describe it. It was sick.
What you're hearing is the first recording ever made of the Skull and Bones initiation ceremony. It has never been broadcast before. 15 new members of the club are being introduced into the macabre rituals of Skull and Bones by the senior students who are about to graduate. The club has what some might see as a strange fascination with death, skulls and bones, as the chants too, difficult to hear first of all, but including the devil equals death, death equals death.
But believe me, those are the types of rituals that they perform. It's the same type of rituals we see at Bohemian Grove. It's the same type of rituals that the Freemasons perform. They do mock murders. These are all things that are done when these people are indoctrinated and are progressing inside of these fraternal secret societies. Now, when you think of the control that these powerful families have, specifically here in our country, but there is also, obviously, around the world, other orders. Here, the Order of Skull and Bones. Over in the UK, they have the Group at Oxford, which is linked to the Rothschilds. The Group is another secret society, and it also has links to Skull and Bones. But look at this. Now, you might not have heard of some of these families, but when you see what they're prominent in and what really they have a lot of control over, it's laughable, because these people all come from inside of Skull and Bones, and these are all industries, especially in the 1800s, that gave these people tons of control. We have the Whitney family, the Perkins family, the Stimson family, the Taft family, and of course, as all of us know, Taft became the son of the original Taft, who was one of the founders, became president of the United States. The Wadsworth family, the Gilman family, the Phelps family, the Bundy family, the Lord family. And then, of course, we get the Rockefeller family, who at the time was really in control of Standard Oil, along with another family who was one of the prominent families in the order, the Payne family. So we have Standard Oil, control of oil, right? Then we get the Davison family, who's linked to J.P. Morgan and the bankers and the Browns. Then we get the Harriman family, who was in control of the railroads. That family is also linked to the Bush family. We get the Weyerhaeuser family in control of lumber, the Sloan family in control of retail, and the Pillsbury family. Remember the Pillsbury Doughboy? And I'm not talking about Buddha. The Pillsbury Doughboy, right? Ring a bell? Pillsbury, still a prominent company, selling poison, passed off as food. Well, before they were a brand name, they were in control of flour milling. So we have Standard Oil control through the order, control of the railroads, which at the time, railroads are still something that's very important for them, but obviously it's not as important as it used to be. So they had railroads, oil, lumber to build, retail to sell, banking with J.P. Morgan, as well as the Browns and other banksters, and food, flour milling. All of this connected to this one secret society, this one order out of thousands of orders in this country. Obviously, Skull and Bones is one of the more prominent organizations inside of the pyramid. But remember, when members of this group, there's not as many as you would think, because they only bring in 15 new people a year. So when they go into, the Trilateral Commission, the Bilderberg Group, the Council on Foreign Relations, see, these are all larger organizations made up of people from many different secret societies. So I'm trying to symbolize this so the younger people out there understand. So these are groups, these bigger groups where they go and they meet and they dictate policy on world government, really is what they're doing. And there's people there who make up a few inside a smaller order who are part of Skull and Bones, right? Out of maybe 35 people, 100 people, however many are involved in these meetings. And there's also people there from other secret societies, whether it's somewhere from Stanford, somewhere from Harvard or Princeton. So this is where there's division amongst the elites, because there are groups within groups. And there's always a struggle for power because these people, as we know, are sick, demented, and egotistical. And that's something people always forget because they think, well, it's all, they're all together as one and they all, their goal is always to go after us. They go after us at will because we allow it to happen. They don't even worry about us. We're dead to them. They know, that they have us under their fingertip right now. But these are the kind of sick people who always want more. They want more money, more power, more influence. So they do have differences of opinion inside of their order based on, well, these are bonesmen and these other people, are members of other secret societies. And there's always this conflict and power struggle. But it's important to remember that these people do have conflicts with one another. They're not always on the same page. Now, out of the order, we have so many things that were set up, and really they have their hand in everything in American society. The order is connected to the White House executive branch, legislatures, political parties, law, education, media, publishing, business industry, commerce, banking, the Federal Reserve, churches, and of course, think tanks, foundation groups, policy groups. Now, this is something that's important to know because it was the order who really was ahead at the time, ahead of the curve. They realized that they'd be able to control people's minds by creating a fake history, by manipulating history and world events. And they set up the American Historical Association, along with the American Economic Association, the American Chemical Society, and the American Psychological Association. They were all started by members of the order. And these are all things that are extremely important for conditioning our society. They were smart enough, and I shouldn't say smart enough, because it's disgusting and it's despicable how these people think. But they realized by doing these things, by having control of these things, that they would be able to have mind control and control of the masses. But the elements that they focus so much on are education and how the population of the future will behave, money, the means of holding wealth, law, politics, history, psychology, which is controlling how people think, philanthropy, which I've talked about with David Rockefeller, which is a huge thing that these elites use. People think well of the controllers, right? So we look at people in the masses will look at David Rockefeller and say, he was a philanthropist. What a great guy. He donated so much money. So it creates this fake vision of who these people are. They don't realize that these people are dancing around in cloaks in the woods and ritually sacrificing humans, children, animals, you name it, and worshiping Satan. Control over medicine, the power over health, life and death, pharmaceuticals, religion, people's spiritual beliefs, media, which we know they have full control over, and continuity, which is the power to appoint who follows in your footsteps to make sure that the order continues on. So we have all of these families who have a hand in all of these massive, massive, massive industries, right? Everything that pretty much matters, these people are linked to. But nobody says boo. Nobody goes, oh. Everybody looks at college fraternities and stuff. And of course, there's just some stupid fraternities out there. But at some of these prestigious schools, these secret societies and fraternal orders are gateways and breeding grounds for these people. And that's why Skull and Bones, they're only on campus senior year, these people. They have 1 year on campus, which pretty much tells you that it's a secret society for after college, right? You go there. You spend 3 years, you're on your last year about to graduate, you join this order, and then this order ends up meeting off campus after you graduate. Should tell people enough about this secret society and the control that they have, and how these people are doing things after the fact. Because remember, they've created this illusion about these Ivy League schools that we're all supposed to bow down to these people. And, oh, he went to Princeton. Oh, he must be better, right? You can put one person next to the other, and you can have 100 people stand there and go, what's your background? Oh, I'm a plumber. Went to community college, dropped out. Okay, what about you? I went to Harvard. And then go, okay, who would you trust more? Everyone would point to the guy who went to Harvard, right? Not about his character, not about who he is. It's about the social status. They've created this mind control for people about schools and schooling because they're the ones who go to these schools and they use these schools as breeding grounds for people that they're going to bring in to their secret societies, bring in to government positions, to banking positions, to financial positions. And it's really just control. That's what it is. So remember, this isn't the only order, but Skull and Bones, as most people are aware of, is probably the top order in America. But don't think for one second that, people who go to Stanford or go to other schools and are part of these secret societies don't conflict with them inside of the pyramid for power, for who has more control, whose secret society is better, whose order is better, because these people are egomaniacs. But nonetheless, it shows you that these groups and these organizations, not because these people are so successful, they're the Bushes, just each generation just happens to be so smart, even though these guys are dumb as rocks. It's a controlling system, right? It's a bloodline system. And then when they recruit new members, if they succeed inside of the system, it leaks down to their